Hey, David. Good to see you, man. Doing up a Renegade tonight. It's a classic imitation, not imitation pattern, tractor pattern. What I just tied in there was just it's hard to see on the camera, but it's a gold mylar tag. Just goes into the bend of the hook. And now we're going to tie in just a regular red-brown rooster acro. You'll want to have it about 1.5 hook gap length. Now I'm going to bend it 90 to the hook and just clean up a few of these stray fibers. I think we can work with those two. I was just getting a couple errors from YouTube there on the stream quality, so let me know if it's cutting out or anything on you guys. Looks okay to me. We're going for 4 tight wraps around the shank here. I think I'll get one more in there. Yeah, when you're cutting off hackle like this, probably the easiest way is just to open your scissors. Just a little bit, like that. You're not really going to cut with the scissors, but you'll put it into the groove, and then making sure it's flat, and then just simply pull back. That way you won't cut any of the other hackles. Let's see if those two on the end there will decide to behave before we're done. They're not that bad. I think I'm happy with that. So, pretty simple fly, besides the tag. Tag would be like an old school version of a hotspot. And we're just gonna get some peacock for the body. For the tags, I like to use either Flashabou or hair extension mylar instead of the fly shot mylar. Comes in all different colors, super cheap. If you're using like your regular fly tying gold silver mylar, I'll pick it up later. If you're using your regular fly tying shot mylar, it's a lot more dense and doesn't like to bend and wrap the hook nearly as well when you're just on bare shank like that. But the Flashabou and the hair extensions are designed to be wavy and flowy and stretchy, so it'll wrap around the shank much better for you. Oh, for peacock, good tip with peacock is just to grab the end. These are extremely brittle, so you just use your fingernail, grab it along, and it'll break right at the right spot. Wherever it breaks is where you tie it off. And most of the time that'll serve you well. No guarantees though, it's peacock. And we're going to catch it in right up to the hackle. Get 3 or 4 wraps back there. back up to about a bobbin width from the head. I'm going to try not to capture any of that hackle in the first couple wraps there. There. And I'm just going to twist the peacock a little bit, stop it from splaying. There we go. I think we got her. I gotta read that lost tension there for a sec. Let's try that again. You can use up to 3 strands of peacock, or even more, depending on how unfluffy your peacock is. This stuff isn't too bad, so I'm just gonna go with 2. Let's use that hackle plier just to get those last couple wraps in there. Beauty. Locking wraps, do it one more time. I've seen some variations where people will chase this with a copper or gold wire too, just to keep the peacock from coming apart. Add some durability. On the front, small rooster white. This is actually from a really beat up white quarter cape, but it has beautifully stiff, nice white barbs. I quite like it. They're small, but they're perfect for flies like this. There's not a huge amount of flies that call for white small hackle like this, so they're nice and tight. Now we're just going to throw in a save point here. Dropping my tools tonight. I'm just going to put a light bend in it so it's 90 degrees from the hook. Got one fiber that's and we're just going to try the slightly heavier hackle pliers this time. That's good right there. A couple of walking routes. I'll get that going one more time here. I think we got it good, but just to make sure. Beauty. I'm just going to pull the hackle back and just clean up that head a bit. Perfect. I'm happy with that one. That actually turned out really good. Throw in a couple half hitches here and then we'll whip finish. That wax sure helps it grab a ton. Yeah, happy with that one. Super simple tractor pattern. It's really good for cutthroat, brook trout. Like most tractor flies. And traditionally the front hackle's always tied slightly bigger than the back hackle. That back hackle you want it to come down about a quarter of your gap height past the hook point. In the front you'll want it to be about almost a whole gap height. And it can be fished as a dry fly, stripped in. Cute little thing, you can hang out with his brother. Try and use up the same flash. And there's definitely nothing saying you can't change that flash color up. I like to return my bobbin back to the tying point for no other reason than it just gets it out of my way a bit. I don't think the tag on this really shows up as well on the camera, but it's super bright holographic gold tinsel. Looks great. Traditionally it would just be a gold mylar. And if you are just using regular gold mylar, you can give it just a dab of head cement or glue. That'll stop it from sliding down the curve of the shank there. Add a little durability. In this case, I'm going to opt to not. Go with our rooster hackle again. And you should be able to get 2 flies out of each one. And this will be slightly the first couple wraps will be slightly longer than the last one. What I like to do is clear out a little bit of extra hackle on the top side, shiny side towards you. What that'll do is give you a little bit more to wrap in before it starts to curl, and it'll help you with keeping everything nice and flat. And once you have it tied in there, again trying to keep it flat. Just put pressure with your finger. You bend the ruckus and try to get it 90 to the hook. That will also help a lot too, because you're not going to be fighting that thicker part. It's not as necessary if you're doing your second fly and you're up here, because it's a lot smoother or a lot softer ruckus. Just move that back to tying point so I got a little more room. And since I have this nice long hackle to work with, I'm not going to bother with the hackle plier, and we'll see if I can manage without a safety. Okay, beauty. I managed to trap one fiber there, but that's nothing to cry about. Same thing. Let's have our scissors open just a hair. Get right in there. A little pressure. And we'll save that one for next fly. Backup time point. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's maybe a hair longer, and it should be just because it's the butt end of the hackle there. Two peacock. That one looks damaged, so we're gonna try another one. Again, just grab your peacock, fingernail, run along, it'll break. However it breaks, that's the brittle spot. Four wraps right around the base there. And I'm just gonna build up the section where we're gonna wrap the hackle, so it's got a little smoother base to wrap on. And we'll just twist it a little bit, stop it from spreading. One behind, a couple locks in front. And one more just because. These are the nicest, cutest little white rooster hackles. I like them. Nice, thick, stiff barbs. Again, shiny side towards you. Removed a few more fibers from the top side. I'm just gonna smooth that out a little bit. There we go. Hey, same thing, just gonna bend the racus a bit. Oh, that's just my luck. I always seem to get that one first strand mucking around. Okay. I'm gonna use higher placos on this one. I feel like that's probably good right there. I think I only trapped one fiber, so that's not too bad. Clean up the head. Beauty. That's just simple and effective little bug. Hey, Luke, I didn't see you there. Sorry, I wasn't watching chat. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm happy with that one turned out. Its butt fluff is a little bit, just like a hair longer than I would have liked, but it's definitely well within spec. And I don't think we're gonna get fish that are that fussy. That's the Renegade. Really simple, pretty little tractor. Yeah, Turner needs a pickle fly. I'm definitely gonna fish some of these when the water's open again. Reminds me a lot of like a really simple kind of Royal Coachman alternative. Go hang out with its brothers. Till that cement dries. Yeah, the body is peacock hackle or hurl. It's basically like a really long hackle, though. There's a gold mylar tag for the butt, although I'm not using that. I'm using hair extensions. I'm just picking the gold ones out. They're just a lot more flexible. They wrap the tag a lot better. You can also use Flashaboo. But yeah, hair extensions or Flashaboo are just not nearly as stiff as most of the fly tying mylar. Come on. Brr. Gonna be fussy and not let me break it. Yeah, so I'll just tie in this little piece. You can see how much thinner they are. And just the mylar that's made out of, I don't know if it'll show up on the camera there, but incredibly nice and thin, but stretchy. And I'm sure it doesn't. Sure, it doesn't show up on the camera, but the holographic on it is really nice and just pops. It's got a holographic, almost like a rainbow checker pattern. It's really nice. But most of my lights are overhead here. I do have some side lights as well, but they just don't pick up the holograph very well. We're just going to bring that down the bend. And back up. Again, if you want to make it more durable so it doesn't slide, you can just put a dab of glue on it beforehand. This stuff is so stretchy, I don't think I'll need that. There, we got that really nice hot tag there. You can pick up hair extensions like that at, most dollar stores or a department kind of store, to be honest. Sorry, Luca, just catching up with the chat here. Yeah, I really wish that the holographic actually showed up well on the camera, but it really doesn't. But it just pops, and I don't know, maybe this package will show. There you go. You can see how nice that looks. Just gives it a little bit extra, And we got just regular old red rooster. That's the other half from the last fly. There. And I'm just going to prep it by removing a little bit more on the top and the bottom. So when I wrap, it'll help keep it straight. Come on now, behave. It's wanting to curl on the hook for me, and I just want to keep it at a 90. That'll do good, and we'll just bring our tie up to the tie-in, just to get it over way. And then I like to bend the racus about 90 to the hook. I had 2 crazy fibers there. They might have been okay, but I'm just going to pull them off. I'm just going to snapped it. 1 second. Try that again. Grab it a little farther back this time. I'm really happy with this hackle. It's a rise form hackle from Magpie Materials. It's like an economy version of whiting, but I think it's beautiful for the price. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's nice and straight. And I probably, looks like it angled on me a little bit, but might have just been a hair close to the hook curve. No, that's okay. Happy with that. Sorry, Lucas, let me catch up with your chat there, man. My monitor with the chat's in a different spot. Like more than double in my area. But thankfully I'm well stocked. I'm just gonna break tips off. Get rid of the brittle bit. Tie tips in. Yeah, I got really lucky actually for my birthday. My dad gave me some cash. Just happened to be there was a posting on Facebook Marketplace for a bunch of old fly tying material that someone was selling in a lot from a gentleman who unfortunately passed away that ran a fly shop in our area. And I was able to buy a good chunk of what was left of the shop for 80 bucks. And I got to do a video on that and unpack it all. It's been sitting out in my garage because it's cold enough to kill any buggies or anything in there, but I got like 2 garbage bags full of supplies for $80, and it's almost all vintage stuff, which I'm super thrilled about. I love vintage flies and material. What's not to love? You can't buy it anymore. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do a video on, I don't know, I guess it would be an unboxing, but it's more of an unbagging. I haven't really even looked at everything that's in there. But I'm hoping for some gems, because a lot of it is 70s, 80s, early 80s, 70s era stuff. Maybe even back into the 60s or some of it. So I am very blessed to have run across that, and I think the gentleman who passed away would be very happy to have it go on to someone that's going to use it. Yeah, I think it'd make a fun live to go through all that stuff and see. Oh, good night, David. Thanks for stopping in, man. Appreciate it. Really enjoyed your live earlier today if you're still there, man. Yeah, that's the thing, especially with older material, like finding someone that's willing to use it instead of the modern like genetic hackles and stuff. Okay, so for the front here, just white rooster. It came from, where are we here? This guy. He's a quarter cape. He's in rough shape, but like the hackle that comes off of it is beautiful. Really nice, stiff white fibers. I don't use white in a lot of patterns, so. But one good thing about white is you can color it pretty much any color you want with a Sharpie or whatever you got handy. So that's good. Yeah, I'm excited to dig through that. I'm surprised I haven't done it yet, but I wanted to leave it out in the cold for a good while, so if there's anything in there. I mean, it's unlikely because the stuff is so old and it's already been in storage for a good long time, but I've run into problems where I've brought in supplies from other places that had bugs and gotten into, other supplies, and you can ruin like your whole collection or a good chunk of it doing that, so no point in doing that if I can just leave it outside for a while. Let winter do its thing. We haven't been that cold yet this year. We're supposed to get down to -17 this week, so cold's coming, but up until now it's been we haven't hit the double-digit freezing mark a whole lot. I think I can get one more wrap in there. Broke my hackle plier, but got it anyway, so we're good. Just gonna throw a quick save point in there because I kind of feel lucky after that snapped. There we go. And yeah, traditionally the front of this was tied with a larger hackle than the back. You want twice the gap height for your front hackle, which I think pretty much got there. And then 1.5 for the back. I think that's pretty much right where we're sitting. Oh, that's cool. You got some of your grandpa's stuff. I got a lot of my father-in-law's stuff and some from my dad too. I switched this other GSP style thread. I'm getting the hang of it now, but it hates knots. It's so slippy. So a little bit of wax helps. There's always that one hackle here that wants to jump in front of everything. There we go. Beauty. Yeah, I'm happy with that one. Beauty. Yeah, this is actually, I got my wax here. Just a mix of beeswax and other natural wax melted into a muffin container. But this one's actually rosin for, it's extremely old. It's probably from the 70s. But it's rosin from a violin. And it works fairly differently than your regular tying wax. It adds like a lot of grip to the thread, so it's not so much for sticking dubbing on or what have you. It's works really well for if you want that thread to just bite into something and hang on to it, like for anything slippy like deer hair or a lot of synthetics. But yeah, you put some of that on there, exact same thing that it's going to do with a violin string and cause it to grip. This one's completely dried out, but it still works fine. But they make them out of um, pine and birch sap. I've made my own in the past too. Might even try that again this year. Mostly pine sap. This one's a birch sap because it's black. If you get the pine sap, it'll be kind of like a honey golden red color, and then you get the really fine pine sap ones that are just like look like a little block of honey. Just letting the head cement dry a second on this one before I pop it in. But yeah, happy with that. That turned out well. Up to 4, got one more to go. I'll do 5 for the box. I think this is my last one of the historical dry flies I wanted to tie. So I'll be moving on to nymphs after this. I think. Maybe wet flies first, then nymphs, I'm not sure. No, I think nymphs are next. My little strand of hollow tinsel decided to grow legs and walk away. Let's see if I can grab another one out here. That's annoying. I know I'm going to find it as soon as I pull another one out of here. There we go. Yeah, I think you can see just how extra shiny this stuff is. It is pretty. And if you don't lose it, you can get 5 flies out of one strand. Oregon fishing. Yeah, man, I follow you. I meant to see that, oh yeah, that steelhead video. Was it last week? Need to catch up on that one. YouTube's been super weird with all my subscription feed stuff. It's like, it seems to just throw like so much random stuff in there, and all the people I sub to occasionally will just filter in there, but it's definitely not as much as I'd like it to be. I think they changed the way it pulls content and the algorithm feeds it to you. It'd actually be nice if the main page, if you could filter it in a way that was like sub only. That would be great. But then that would defeat the purpose of having the almighty algorithm. I'm gonna have an extra piece floating around. I know I'm gonna find that piece I dropped. Yeah, I'm totally gonna have to make a mental note to check that out tomorrow when I'm at work. I was excited about it when you told me about it last week, and I just didn't get to it. Yeah, I'm just gonna grab some. Well, I found the piece I was looking for. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. It was actually stuck to my peacock. Figures. Told you, as soon as I tied that in, I'd find it. And I did. It was just statically stuck to the bottom of my peacock. First world problems, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna rip the brittles off. Ugh. Getting tired. One step out of myself here. Gotta do the back hackle first. And we're just gonna use regular rooster saddle. This saddle, or neck, sorry, cape. I mean, you could use like regular Indian cape or like hybrid. Don't matter. And I'm just gonna take a bit more off the top side. To prep it, I'll stop it from Going all cattywampus and wrap it in. I'm just going to bend it 90 to the hook. And get rid of that one annoying one that's always there. Every time. There. Oh, cool, you brought your kiddo with you? That's awesome. Yeah, steelhead are just absolutely magical if you can get into one. That is a lifetime goal for most people, for sure. Managed to catch one in there, but it's not that bad. Yeah, I'll save you for the next fly. Yeah, it looks pretty straight. I'm good with that. Alright, back to peacock. This is just a random bag of peacock I picked up years ago, but it has a really nice color to it, and it's super soft. I got this nice, big, thick, like probably lifetime supply of peacock. It's okay. It's not the best peacock in the world, but I mean, there's enough there to do thousands of flies. So that's cool. But it's definitely more on the industrial scale. It's not the primo. Well, these ones aren't primo either, but you use what you got. You're taking fly rod out tomorrow and trying to pick a fly to put on it. What are you going after tomorrow? I know you were doing Euro nymph stuff last time. Are you gonna do like a dropper setup or? Not sure what, if anything, would be hatching this time of year down there. Steelhead till April. Do you fish more like the classic steelhead flies? Are you more in the streamers? I'd imagine this time of year, like that kind of indigo-y blue would probably be really good. This color. I'm not sure exactly what kind of blue that is, but that's the exact blue I was talking about. I always have really good luck with that steelhead around here anyway in the fall. Okay. And that's the white. And this quarter cape. Yeah, I don't know if you have any flies that incorporate that color blue, but that's always worked really well for me. That blue, kind of like a sunflower yellow and like a burnt orange together. For whatever reason, that works really well. Can't think of any patterns off the top of my head that would work good with that. But if you have anything like that, tie one on there and try it out for me. I'll be thrilled if it works out good for you. What was the river you were fishing in again, Oregon? I think you told me last time, but I can't recall off the top of my head. Yeah, happy with that. It's nice and tight. Got a couple little crazy ones, but why not? I'm excited to get in, do some streamer tying. I haven't done that in a bit. Been focusing on dry flies. But man, I absolutely love tying classic salmon and steelhead streamers. I got quite a bit of kit to do it too, but it's a completely different ball game than this is. So I gotta dig that out. pretty much right next to the Thompson, which floods into the Fraser, and we get lots of good steelhead and salmon coming up there. Right by my place. Well, I live in a mountain, so below the mountain where it connects to the river. Oh yeah, I've heard. I ran into that one. What was it, like a week, maybe a week and a half ago? That does look like a really cool pattern. I'm gonna have to look that up. Oh, no worries, mate. If you're fishing in a river where there's a lot of pressure on it, yeah, that's totally understandable. Especially since you're filming and putting it up, I can 100% understand. I'm excited to get out and do some more filming. I'll have to set up a rig so I can actually fish and film at the same time. The vast majority of the lakes and everything I go to out here are all out of cell service range, so I won't be able to do lives, but I'll be able to film it and edit it. We don't even have cell service where I live up here, so all Starlink. There she goes. What a beauty. Simple little fly, but if you got like little brook trout or cutthroat or even a little kokanee, just like a magnet. There's all his brothers, sisters. Got them all pretty even, you know. I'm pretty happy with that batch. Pretty consistent. I think so, anyway. I'm partial. Well, Oregon and Luca, if there's anyone else out there, I think it's just you guys in here left. Just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me, and gonna call it a night now. That's the 5 I need to tie for the box. What is it? It's coming on 1 in the morning here, so I'm gonna head to bed. Got to get the kids ready for school and work in the morning. Thanks for coming though. Appreciate it. Sylvanator. Oh, thanks for dropping, guy. I'll check out your steelhead video, man.